rays of this radio show beaming out here from 7,000 feet high in the Rocky Mountain sky, from this enchanted New Mexico place to wherever you are, man, sitting there with that funny look on your face saying, how does he do that? It's silent running, baby, but it's not so silent after all. It has a music, a tone, a harmony all its own, doesn't it, baby? The golden rays of love pour through me, pour through you, pour through our little doggy too, coming out to everyone all across this earth. Everyone, whether you're tuned in or not, but especially if you're tuned in here at this Spring Creek radio show on the Hazy Radio Network. Hey, you get us here like 4 days a week now, man. You know, I might go back to 5 here pretty soon. You never know. Or I might even expand the hours or close them down. Who knows? All I do know is we're all part of the miraculous miracle of still being alive. Somehow, after all the strife and strain our personal person's been through and our personal little earth has been through, let alone the universe around us, well, it's amazing that any life lives, yet all of it does, and all of it lives right here inside of us, wouldn't you say? That's our way here at Spring Creek, man, and it begins right here, right now, today. Today, this way, because you're not in the way anymore, baby. You have softened your heart. You have let go of the coldness, the cold, dark iciness that you felt inside, that you embraced for so long, because it felt like love. Well, everything is, baby, so you weren't exactly misinterpreting it. It's just a little different kind of love. And actually, it was quite medicinal for the human race. So now wipe that smile on your face, off your face, and go be a good guy. Okay, you can smile. Go be a good guy, a good girl, for the rest of forever, okay? Be generous to a fault. And when you fault, be generous even more. That's the way we even the score here in this Earth reality on this Spring Creek radio show. Rays of love coming your way each and every day here. Well, at least 4 days a week anyway. I'm getting weaker. You got to keep sending them good vibes my way, guys. Thanks for coming our way, babies, and I'll see you again tomorrow, 9 a.m. here in the Mountain Time Zone, which is 11 a.m. 11 a.m. over there on the East Coast. Must be about 4 p.m. there in the UK. So adjust your clocks accordingly, baby, and be around. Man, Coyote just loves playing the clown, don't you? I thought so, dear. The Hazy Radio Network, the place you turn to when you want to get it clear, especially when Spring Creek's here coming out to play with Grandpa Coyote and friends, wouldn't you say? Especially our little Okiwan Kenobe. Ooh, what a sweet dog he is. Come take a ride with us someday. You'll find out, okay? Oh, yeah, baby. Here we are once again, standing at that crossroads of life. Got all these possible directions we could be going in. Every one of them looks pretty good, though some you can tell lead to some pretty dark places and some pretty sour faces. And those aren't the people we want to be hanging out with today, now are they, man? Hell no. What we want is to get on with our own little medicine show. The medicine show of our heart, don't you know, and let that be the active medicine in our life, so that we never again get pulled back into the strife that causes us to lose our life, okay? Now, listen, I'm not one to talk, yeah, I know. I'm not braggadocious, I tell you. I've been through my share of troubles, and they still got troubles to go through yet, man, you know. They got me on all these medical resolutions that are supposed to resolve this cancerous condition, and baby, well, it's helping, everything does. But I think ultimately it's coming to understand why we punish and torment ourselves so, and all this other stuff that's just there to help you get by until you can remember how it is that you already know how to fly. Now I'm speaking metaphorically there. In other words, we already know how to be what we are. We've just forgotten it along the way, and generationally, well, they've shoved it away from us. They try immediately to help you lose your little character in this life. So things are getting better and people are getting more sensitive to the child. But still, the child is treated rather wild in this reality when you say, especially if you're born in a Western hospital or something. But there has been a lot of change. And children are feeling a little more welcome now. But, you get a year or two old and, first thing you know, they're trying to crush your dreams, man. You're born ready to fulfill a gigantic scheme of love in this life. And it's huge and you know it. But you're just this tiny little corkscrew of a thing, man, a baby child. And you don't know anything yet. You know everything. You cannot communicate anything to those around you, or very darn little. There is that subliminal communication, which isn't so subliminal, that goes on between mother and child, and father and child too, in a different way, yet it's the same love flowing, see? So there is a way to open up and understand the little baby heart and see what it's here to convey, and that's by being open within yourself. And not trying to turn this child around into something to fulfill your desires, but let it be something that fulfills the desires of its very own heart. Let it be welcome and loved. You see, and if you didn't get that good of a start in life, I know I didn't either. Well, we just go back there in time. As ourself, as our adult self, we go back there in time. We find that little baby divine that we once were, and we say, hey, little child, it's going to be a little while, this rough stuff, but darling, you ain't never going to die. You're going to learn how to fly. You're going to remember how it is to be a birdie in the sky, as well as a human being, okay? I know you're an angel. So am I. Maybe together, and with the rest of this here family, whatever it's comprised of, we can figure this out together. Maybe together we can all get it and bring it back together and never have to go through any of this stormy weather again. In other words, never have to put up with illness or accidents or diseases or disjointed lives that are, put out in a wrong sort of way, baby. Because it doesn't agree with our heartfelt way. That's what we've been looking for all of our life, and that's what we feel most wounded about, is our dream was not welcome here. Not for most of us. We're born into families that had a whole different scheme, and they had you all figured out, and you were going to do this and be that and do that, and darling, that's tough, that's difficult, because you know better in your heart. So it comes down to a royal struggle, and this is where all the illness comes from, because that struggle wears you down after a while. So I know I've got components in myself that I still haven't settled with, that need some real settling. So I won't be an ornery old man, and I won't be taking it out on anybody, least of all myself, in the form of illnesses and diseases, and now all these drugs that bring us relief, yet don't necessarily, do anything more. I mean, sometimes they hold you back. Sometimes they restrict you. Got to be careful what you take into your person. Bless everything, though, and it'll be all right. Even if you have questions about it and it doesn't seem to be a rightful path, well, then it might be advisable not to do whatever it is they're advising you to do. But then again, in your heart, if you have no other choice, in your heart, bless it and take it into you, if that's what pleases others, as well as yourself. And you'll find that the effect is not the same as others go through. You will find that it does actually improve your disposition, your health, whatever. Because that's what it's intended to do. And when you bless it, you accept that blessing into you, okay? That's how you get around all the poison in this life. That's why you can hear some of the old ancient mystics talking about, getting bit by a rattlesnake or a cobra or something and not dying, not having any effect, because you neutrify that effect. You don't see poison in anything. You don't see hate in anything. All you see is love. All you live is love, because that's what life is made of, okay? No big long lectures today. Just a little reminder, okay? Keep your heart in the way. Let it show you the way, because that is the way, okay? Way seer. And because of that, like a lot of us of the more genteel nature, people tend to take advantage of us and overdo us because we're dedicated, committed kind of people. We don't like to be held back by anything. We like to see progress in everything, above all in the interrelationships between human beings and the earthly planet, the animal kingdom, the bird kingdom, the insect kingdom, all of it, Just want to be one big mellow flow, like, so we don't have to be all blue and going on suicidal missions blowing up planets like they did in Dark Star, man. Don't have to feel bad about ourselves. Don't have to feel down. But always, always be coming around, man, knowing that we're not quite there. And you never will be, man. 'Cause we're already there. The beginning is what everything is. That's just how it is. Is. The beginning. The truth of your very own heart. That which flows through you into this creation around you and becomes the gigantic tree of life that we participate in, right? Right. Now that's highly metaphorical, but it's a very realistic thing. And once you start to see the tree, then you begin to realize that, well, it all starts with me, it all starts with you. But the branches are what we see of as dimensions, you see. The heights, the elevations, the higher the tree goes, well, this gets into the parallels. And then the shadow of the root below, and the greatness of the earth, with the root being grander than the tree itself above. It has to be to support it, don't you see? Because otherwise the wind just blow it over, man. And then we wouldn't be worth a damn, none of us. Just rot away and become something new, which is okay. We always blossom and grow no matter what happens, don't you know? See, that's the secret of life, and that's the secret of peace on earth, which is peace inside of you. Understand it, too. When you realize that no matter what happens, it all works out in the end. It all serves the greatness of creation, else it would not be. When you really, truthfully get that in your heart, that everything you're living in is what you ought to be living in, and what you have been living in, because it serves the purpose of the universe in some way. Now, we all are born with a dream where people get along with one another. A happy world that shines bright with a golden light. Still got blue skies, though, deep blue skies, not like these baby blue things we have today. We're working our way out of that, though, eh? But everyone gets along, everyone's singing the same old song, everyone's doing their thing, their own personal thing, and it matches perfectly with what everybody else is doing, recreationally and industrially, but there is no industry. There is only us living our life, being the creation and the creator in the creation, you understand? See, we're the vessels by which creation comes into being. Kind of like the insulators on a power line, the glass insulators that hold the power line to the pole and allow it to keep on the flow, keep that old medicine going, don't you know? Well, there you are, man. See, that's what we be. We're what keeps creation creating. Only we're not a power line. We're a powerhouse, and everything that surrounds us is filled with that power. That's where it's conveyed. It flows through us just like it flows through that insulator. But we don't feel it so much that way as we do this way, internally. But that is cued, those deeper feelings are cued by the feelings of the eyes. For what the eye perceives is what creation receives, you see? That's what we be. Creator, creation, all living in the flow, the dynamic flow of the electronic love, man, which we call creation or creator. See, the energy is the creator. The creation is what the energy lives in. See? That's Great Spirit. And us as one unified person in all the persons that live, whether they be a little dog, a kitty cat, or a gigantic eagle in the sky, maybe a condor, maybe a 747 way up high, or better than that, one of those UFOs in which you and I'll soon fly. Hey, we do it every night anyway. Don't let anybody kid you. Just try to tell us we don't, but we do, man. Ooh, Oh, some powerful dreams last night. I'll have to be talking about those things here in just a few. Oh, babies, we got some guys that just want to say goodbye to you by saying hello to your heart and bringing that person that feels so new into being while you let go of all of the shenanigans of the past, all that illusionary bullshit, okay? Even Joe Walsh realized it was a life of illusion. Now, where is that song when I need it? Let me see if I can find it. Joe Walsh, Paging Joe Walsh. He's probably way back. Now, this guy's got an appetite for Mary Jane like you wouldn't believe. And I'll tell you what, he can inhale more of that sweet vapor than anybody else I know. And out of him comes bursts of loud creativity. That's why he's a rock star and you're not, okay? Well, what did I say? Oh, I wasn't putting you down, baby. No. You're a rock star, too, in your righteous little way, okay? To see your way through all that, it's just ridiculous what it is and how it is. It's just totally ridiculous. Gosh darn thing. There we go. Look at that. Like I said, up that backlight, I got front light galore. Oh, well. Playing with my little video cam here while I'm talking to you, baby. Because why? Because I love you, Mom, Grandpa, of all of you, in case you didn't know. Mr. Breeze, man. Where does the breeze blow? Everywhere. And guess what? When the breeze blows, there's Grandpa in it, don't you know? Yeah, and Grandma, too, of course, man. But Grandpa, he's the one that gives you those little prickles on your skin, and you start to have all them realizations again, see? That's why you toke a little Mary J. For most people, anyway, it helps expand your conscious presence into, well, let's say the anterior, ulterior, all those other dimensions out there. You can describe them by a lot of different terms. They're in here and out there. But it's all about taking the division, dissolving it away by seeing through it, you see. It's like stepping into the mirror, becoming one with your real self, see, or bringing the mirror through you so there is no reflection. See, we've been living in the reflection for a long time, and Mary J., our sweet little baby, legal though she is in many places, illegal in some places. I get it medicinally here, getting one of them little cards, man, so you legally participate. And darlings, we're finding out that it cures all kinds of ailments and illnesses. I think it's a big part of my healing from the massive dose of cancer I gave myself here somehow in this here world. Amazing how that goes, isn't it? I've had my troubles, health-wise through the years, but not too bad. And I've always pulled through really good and always come out on top and been rather a healthy guy, I'd go and unload trucks and, do a lot of heavy lifting and freight work. Even though I'm a small guy, I had a pretty good constitution for a long, long time. Then as I'm approaching 7-0, all of a sudden this cancer shit starts getting in my way. Now, it might have been atmospheric. It might have been, something to do with the location, the locale. It could have been any number of factors. I had a pair of glasses that I thought might have some radioactivity in them. I used cell phones like crazy for years. Sometimes I'd have them up to both sides of my head, and sometimes for hours on the phone, because it's just part of my business, whatever I was doing, So any one of those, and all of those probably together, were the causative factor that brought this on. But here's Mary Jane. Well, that first bunch, for some reason, it just wouldn't help with. I had to go get an operation. The second bunch, now, when it metastasized throughout my body, got into other areas and metastasized, got in my bones, well, then it does respond, not only to the Mary J., but to the healing vibes you send this way. And the healing vibes I send your way, of course, too, because, it all works together. But it's amazing what Mary Jane can do. And I'm sure we've only scratched the surface of it, too, because, see, the Mary Jane essence, the marijuana essence, is the divine feminine. And that is what it's awakening you to. So I'm really pleased to see that we're getting some studies that puts an end to this disease of intolerance and warfare upon the people. Another great step along the way. Thank you, University of Iowa, and all of those that have been brave enough to duke it out in court with the man and show him that there ain't no impairment. Even the most conservative of scientists haven't done the studies. Now agree, babies. You see? The lesson is, I think, don't turn down the magic in your life. And don't be afraid, even if something seems taboo, don't be afraid if it seems right to you. Don't be afraid to go there and test it in some way. Be real, careful with yourself. You don't want to hurt yourself. But don't be afraid to participate in things that, your heart tells you it's more than okay. It's a movement of love along the way, and another step in the deepening of your understanding of your own experience. Legalize, that's the drive, of course. But imbibe. You don't have to be affected by the outside world. Just be quiet about what you do and go about doing it, okay? You see, you don't need to make a spectacle of yourself, and get the man in your way or get in his way, because he will try to take you down if you do. Then you're going to have to call on some real magic. You will need more than a beanstalk. Well, maybe somebody will drop a bean through the jailhouse door and you'll pick it up and plant it in the drain, and next thing you know, there'll be a beanstalk getting you all out of there, okay? You never know, baby. The magic in this life can easily be compared to that. You've got more power than that. You can have it any way you want. But let sweet Mary Jane help you along the way. She'll help you understand it, as she's helping me understand it. See, I'm just a part of you. You a part of me. That's why I can say I'm your grandpa, because in a way, I am. And in a way, you're my grandma or grandpa too. I'm my own grandpa too. You see, it's like, see how it works? We're in this together. We really are just one person. And that really is not just a grandpa and a grandma. It's the mother of love, Mary Jane herself, the inventor of love. For out of love she was created, and in love she creates, okay? And that's what we see here every day, even our own retarded way, man. Amazing how that go, isn't it? Here on this little Coyote Messing Show, getting you in the flow. Your old Grandpa Coyote, don't you know, grandfather of them all. Yes, indeed. That's why I can pull your joke and pull my joke, too. My goodness, I tell you. I pull these jokes so hard on myself, don't I, man? Just got to go through all kinds of torment to find that peace, that reality, that real self, that giant self that still exists somewhere in the ether of this place here, man. I know it does. Let Mary Jane help you dissolve away the illusions in your life today, okay? Because that's the way. Well, for most of us anyway. Other people might have another vehicle, but Mary Jane is the divine feminine. And her introduction into the Western world, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, well, it was more than that, but basically the widespread use began 60 years ago. That was her reintroducing herself, and the beginning of the taking down of the authoritarian reality that had so long persisted like a blister. It just wouldn't go away. Yeah, boy, did it ever hurt, didn't it? But guess what? Out of pain comes gain, babies. And out of gain comes the finest expressions of life, because we really appreciate it when we can be free and flow, like we do on this Free Day Friday here on this Hazy Radio Network with your Everclear Grandpa Coyote and Okie Kenobi. And of course, Mary Jane, helping us along the way forever and a day. When you say, I'd say.